We're gonna read room. Okay, what are we doing? What are we talking about? What are we doing? Okay, I am going to talk to you about my walk with the Lord. It's a story time. The time God spoke to me. Even talking about this. Something happened to me at work, not today, recently. It brought me back to that moment in college. And I mean, I say that like I'm not in college anymore. Like I mean, technically, no, I'm not in college. Yes, I am a college student. I'm not in college right now because I'm on break, but I am still in college. Just on break. Christmas break. Thanksgiving, Christmas break. During my sophomore year, Andrew Bethia, was planning on being, well, I guess during that time period, that moment of life, I was going to be a surgeon. I was planning on being a surgeon. My major, to my knowledge, was biology with a concentration in pre-medicine. I was going to go to medical school, become a physician, become a surgeon in some type of area of surgery. I did not know exactly what I wanted to do yet. One day, I'm sitting in my room. This is a Friday. It's a Friday. And as you know, I'm a Seventh-day Adventist, so like Friday sunset is the beginning of Sabbath. So I'm preparing for the Sabbath to come in. And what I usually like to do prepare for Sabbath, I usually put on VeggieTales, cartoon amazing. VeggieTales or The Chosen or The Story Keepers. These are just cartoons or things that remind me of, God. Friday nights on campus is when we have what is called AY. I think it's really called AYM, Adult Youth Ministries. It's something where we all just have worship together, but it's like the highest type of praise and worship experience on campus that happens every week. That was gonna happen like 8 o'clock, and it was 6 or 7 at that point. So let's say it's 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock, time's going by. I finished watching my stuff. I'm like, I just want to relax now. I'm gonna prepare myself to go to AY later on. And after AY, we have this thing called Upper Room, where we talk about the stuff that happened during AY. I'm in my room. I watch VeggieTales. I watch whatever, and I'm like, I'm tired of this, so I'm just gonna chill in my room in silence before I go to AY. It's probably like 7 o'clock at this point, maybe 7:30, 7:45. I don't know. So I'm chilling in my room. It's quiet. It's silent. But then something happens, and it gets weird, where I feel the silence, and I was like, okay, this is not normal. In that moment, I realized, okay, something is happening. Like my radar was going off. I think I have some spiritual radar that went off. I was like, something's happening with God. I just know it right now. Something's happening where I should probably be paying attention. So I get up. I'm like, okay, this is freaky. You ever have those moments? The next thing I heard, theology. Now, we have to backtrack a couple years. When I was deciding on what I wanted to do for my major, when I decided on where I'm going to college, well, I didn't necessarily have choices to where I went to college, but I had choices of what I was going to do in college. I had 3 things set: biology, theology, and then something to do with art. Now, Oakwood, not the best place to do anything with art, so it was really between these 2, theology and biology. And the reason why I had these 3 is because these are the main 3 pillars of my personality. I love how everything in the body connects to one another. I love God and everything that is in the Bible. And I love all things art because I'm an artist. I really was leaning towards theology, but I like the security that I like the security that, biology gave me. And a couple other things that were thrown in the mix. Influence. Even though I had very strong intentions of going to theology, I was like, I probably shouldn't go into that. So yeah, I would say for about 2 years, there were a couple instances where I was supposed to be moving in towards the side of theology, but that just never happened because I was just being stupid. So that night, God got my attention, and I was like, okay, no.
What? No, I don't want to do that.
You're going to have a great time.
No.
You might meet some new people.
No.
You even make some new friends.
No. No!
I don't want to do that. And here's the reason why. I had already planned the next 40-something years of my life out. I was going to finish, my undergraduate degree, get my bachelor's in biology, and then I was going to go to Loma Linda Medical Schools out in California. And I was going to, struggle there a little bit, but I was going to graduate. Then I was going to get placed into a hospital. And after I got placed into a hospital, I was going to do my residency, and then I was going to become a real doctor. So a couple years would pass by, and then I'd make some money. But of course, during those first couple of years, struggle financially a little bit. I'm starting to make more money, and by then I'm pretty sure I've started a family. So I have a wife, to get a couple kids going, move into a nice house. And then I retire, spend some time with my kids, my family, and then I die. So I had the next 40, 50, 60 years planned out of my life, and it was fine. I was content with that. I was like, I'm not going to sit here and feel all of this weirdness go on. So I decided to run away from God.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 stupidest people.
And guess where I ran away to? The church where AY was being held. I know, very, very stupid of me. If I'm running away from somebody, shouldn't I run away from them? But why would I run away to somebody and run away into their house to hide from them where AY was being held? I know, very, very stupid of me. If I'm running away from somebody, why would I run away to somebody and run away into their house to hide from them?
Play dumb. Who's Morales? Not that dumb. Hey! You're okay. He'll never find you. No.
That makes no sense, but that's exactly what I did. On my way walking to the church I was living in Peterson Hall at the time. Beautiful dorm. Beautiful. It was stolen from me, actually. Stolen from all the men on campus and given to the women. No problem, because there's more of them on campus than we are, so it's fine. It's fine. Just saying, I was there first. Yeah, I was walking. As I was walking, me and God, we have this relationship. I'm pretty sure I've explained this before, but I'm just explaining it more in greater detail. You see, I realize that I do stupid things sometimes, and I know that I'm just going to stray away from God. So I'm like, Jesus, I love you. I know I'm dumb sometimes, so just get me back on the path of whatever you have to do. Whatever you have to do to get me there, just do what you gotta do. So, as I was walking, I felt there was this pressure on my chest. And I was like, I don't like this at all. And I have asthma, and I knew it wasn't an asthma attack because I wasn't wheezing. And usually I need my inhaler, but I haven't needed my inhaler since I was like 9. It wasn't that. So the only other possible thing was God trying to get my attention for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe because I was ignoring him or ran away from him. But yeah, so that left as soon as I got to the church. But as I was walking into the doors, I was like, you know what, God, I rock with you. I love you. If theology is something you want me to do, if this is a place where you want me to go, I'm gonna need you to give me a sign. Now the sign doesn't have to come tonight. It doesn't even have to come today. Not tomorrow. Not even next week. Not even next month. Not even this month. Not even this year. Just give me a sign sometime. I walked in, and I sat down on the road with all my friends. Oh wow, I remember exactly where I was. But my head is just down because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm thinking. I'm like, what's happening? What do I do? What's going on? I'm questioning everything. And while this is going on, they have the prayer team go up. All the service has already started. I'm just sitting there, with my head down, not knowing what's going on. The prayer team gets up, and I usually don't go up to ask the people on the prayer team for prayer, but for some reason that day I did. I went up to one of my friends. I was like, hey, I need discernment, I need strength, I need wisdom, I don't know what to do. I have a hard thing I have to figure out to do, and I need help from God. Interesting thing that I do, I go to God when he's telling me to do something, and I'm going to him asking him what I should do, even though he just told me what to do. Anywho, homeboy prays for me. I go back to my chair, and I sit down. Speaker comes out, and I don't recognize the guy. I didn't even realize that he was the speaker. I was like, okay, speaker comes out, cool, and he starts preaching. It's as if everything he says, he's speaking directly to me. And there's nobody else in the audience, but he's speaking directly to me. Now, I don't remember anything he said to me that night, but I do know that the Holy Spirit was using him to speak directly to me. And it was scary. I was like, no way, Jesus. There's no way. There's no way. It's like almost every other word. It's like, Andrew, you can't get away from me. I was like, okay. After AY is over, usually when I told you I go to upper room, the discussion thing afterwards. Oh, I booked it back to my room. I ran to my room. I called Darius. I called my best friend. I called my brother. I was like, hey, bro, I need you in my room right now. This is an emergency. I don't know what's happening. I just need you in here. Darius being Darius, he gets there like 20 minutes later. He pulls up, and I explain to him what's happening. I'm literally curled up in a ball on my bed in the corner, rocking back and forth, crying because I'm like, what do I do with this? I'm afraid. I don't want to do this, but it's just something that's happening. And he calms me down. He explains to me, this is something that God has for you to do. Go ahead and do it. And I really think that this is something you should be doing anyway. He gives me other examples as the reason why it's a good idea for me to do this. I make it up in my mind that, okay, cool, this is something I'm going to do. So I say it, I profess it, I'm going to do this. That following week, I was sick. It was a mental struggle of me figuring out, or like trying to take the reins of my life back. I was trying to be in the driver's seat, trying to, drive my life in a way that I wanted to, but it just wasn't working. Especially because he already told me previously, do this, and I said, I'm going to do that instead. During that week, I was sick. I went to urgent care. I think they said that I was like either constipated or had diarrhea. I don't know, but there was nothing wrong with me. They didn't know what was wrong with me. Looking back at it now, I'm like, okay, this was a mental thing that I pushed on to myself, that I had a physical bodily reaction.
You did the right thing.
I don't feel right.
You should know this is not a natural sickness.
What's happening?
Your critical decision. What you did, it was in such conflict with your image of yourself that you are now at war within your own mind and body.
What's that mean?
You are going through a metamorphosis, my nephew. It will not be a pleasant experience. But when you come out of it, you will be the beautiful prince you are always meant to be.
But at the end of that week, I did make a decision. I was like, okay, God, I love you, and I love the Bible. I don't know why you're telling me to do this, but if I'm going to call myself a Christian, I have to do what you have to say, because I am a Christ follower. I follow what you have to say. So I was like, okay, I'll do it. I called up my parents. I called up my folks. And I explained to them what happened. And they were like, nah. And I said, what? Weren't y'all the ones that told me to do what God says regardless of what other people say? So like for that semester, mind you, this was like the first semester of my sophomore year. Any person who's in their sophomore year, the first semester, that's the point in time where you start getting into your core classes, your heavier classes for your whatever major you are in. And that's the point in time, if you're going to make a switch, you're going to change your major, that's the time to do it. So I was like, hey, this is probably the best time for me to go over to the Theo department. And they were like, no. They were only concerned for my well-being. No, they want to make sure I could support myself. That semester was a lot, dealing with trying to figure out how I'm going to get that whole thing to happen. So a couple months later, finally got parents on board, and then I made the switch. I didn't necessarily make a switch. I added theology to my biology degree. So I was double majoring at one point, and that was very interesting because I had just decided to take the two most difficult majors at the same time and think that I was going to graduate in 4 years. Hilarious. I was taking the bulk of my biology classes at that point, and my Theo classes I was going to take the next semester. And people were asking me, Andrew, what's it like double majoring? I was like, I just do classes. I mean, it's like you can't ask me how do I just breathe. Like I don't do breathing.
I'd rather not talk about this.
No, I don't mean to.
Are you teasing me?
No. He's not teasing you. It's just that we can't do that.
If it's personal, I don't want to like pry, but I just think it's cool.
I wish I could tell you, but it's like I don't do it. Like I don't Like, I don't do breathing. Like, breathing just happens.
Whoa.
I just breathe like no, like I was just doing classes, regular stuff. But then I took Greek.
He tried it.
And I realized it wasn't for me. My understanding of different languages, it takes me a year to understand everything that comes to a language. I'm not going to break that down for you right now. But all I can say is my GPA could not take another hit. My freshman year was pretty bad in college. Very bad. And I've been, slowly bringing it up. As I was taking Greek, I was literally pulling my hair out because it was just that stressful. It was so hard to understand the material. The teacher, I got some choice words for that professor. Great man. Cool person. Very, very interesting professor. People pass the class. I, however, dropped out the class because I cared about my mental health, my sanity. But I realized that if I withdrew from Greek now, at that point in time, my sophomore year, I would have to take it again later on, and I'd be faced with the same problems. So I figured, wait a minute, God told me to go to theology. Go to theology department. If I minor in theology, I'm still doing what he said to do, just without the languages. So that's what I did. The minor in theology does not require me to take the languages, so Greek and Hebrew don't have to take it. Woo! Amazing. But I figured I'd still get all the information that I would need to help, bring somebody closer to God through the Bible. Anyway, so I'm doing that's what I've been doing. To this day, I do not understand why Jesus said, "Hey, theology." Don't know. He'll explain that to me later on. Maybe he'll explain to me later on in my life, or he'll explain to me when he gets here and he takes you up to heaven and then back down here to earth. I don't know, but until then, I'm trying to be faithful. I'm trying to be obedient. I'm trying to do that. I'm in my senior year now. I guess last year, I was with Darius one day, and I was like, hey, man, I know I'm not going to be going to medical school to be a doctor. I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to be a pastor. I don't want to be a preacher. I don't want to be a chaplain. I don't know. I don't want to do genomic medicine. I don't want to study research in biology. I don't want to study in a lab. All that stuff I don't want to do. But those are the combinations, really, the different avenues I've seen for what I could do with my current degrees. And I was like, this is not, I don't know. I don't want to be a professor. I don't want to be a teacher. I don't want to do that. So what do I do? And he was like, hey, bro, there's this counseling center that I go to. What's that about? He's like, well, have you considered counseling? I said, well, no. But I was like, wait a minute. That sounds pretty good. And he was explaining to me, it was like, therapy and counseling is like, it's actually it's something that I think you'd be good at. He's like, you talk to people very well. You listen. You're encouraging. Like, you're wise and stuff. I was like, oh, well, thank you. He's like, yeah, I have those people. Here's our number. Call them up and tell them you're from Oakwood. Tell them you're a biology major and that you're interested and you would like to shadow them. And I was like, okay, cool. So I called them up and like, hello, my name is Andrew Bethia and I'm from Oakwood. Can I come over there? And they on the phone. I think I was on the phone for them like 45 minutes, and that was my interview. They said, come on in for a day. So I came in for the first day. I was in the office space. It was really cool, really nice, very, very, very demure. I sat in on someone's session. I listened to someone speak and I talked to them, blah, 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 stuff like that. Second day, I go back and they're like, remember the session that you sat in on? Yeah, we're gonna put you to work. And I was like, what? No, we're gonna put you to work. You're gonna put in the information as they're speaking to us. And blah, 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 blah. I was like, oh, okay. At the end of that day, they're like, yeah, man, we like you. Some of the things that you were speaking with the other individual, it would take, weeks, if not months, to train somebody to do that. But you just did it naturally. I was like, oh, no, not that winter break. I started working there that summer. So this past summer, that's where I worked in a mental health clinic. And I'm working there now over the winter break. I bring all this up because something happened to me at work this week. Someone asked me a question, and they're like, so you have the theology as your minor. What are you using that for? Like, what's the purpose of it? What are you doing with it? Because if I were, because I was talking about we were talking about discussing my future in my future in counseling and mental health therapies, and that's what I like. That's what I like to do now. They're like, what's the theology for? Like, what are you doing with that? And they're like, if I was going to get my master's in this counseling, whatever, I would probably, have something that's going to help me get to that point to get the degree. They're like, are you just doing this because you think this is what God wants you to do? Or are you just doing this because it's familiar, or like it's you just don't want to let it go, or like things like that. And it like threw me for a loop, because I was like, wait a minute, I thought I was doing this for God. Like I really thought that I was just being obedient, and then like I started spiraling. I was like, what do I do? I knew I needed to talk to somebody, because I just wasn't okay. So like after the person that asked me the question left the room, my coworker looked at me. She was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then she said, "You don't look okay." I was like, "Yeah, probably not," because all of this was just going through my head. I didn't know what to do. So I texted one of my brothers, Ethan, and I was like, "Hey, I need to talk to your dad. I need to talk to somebody super spiritual right now, because I need to know if I'm tweaking. I need to know if I'm the problem." So he's like, "Today's not a good day, so come tomorrow," which is today. So today is Thursday. I know today is Wednesday. And after work, I went to their house. I said, hey uncle, how you doing? He was like, "Hey bro, what's up?" And I was like, "You're probably wondering, why is Andrew asking to talk to me?" He was like, "Yeah, why are you? I don't know why you're doing this. What's up? What's going on?" And I explained him the situation, and he just poured into me. And it was like, based off what I've seen, based on what I observed of you, it's like, this is something that I can see you doing. Like you're very observant. You're a good listener. See what you can do to help other people. Like if this is counseling or something that the Lord wants you to do, don't worry about the path that God is putting you on. And of course you want to know the next immediate step, but trust the process. And I was like, "Get to trust God." He said, "You just got to trust God this whole entire ordeal." And as he was like, explaining it, breaking things down, and he was encouraging me, it was like a weight lifted off my shoulder. It was like, "Oh, this is great." And then he started talking about Reid's room. He was like, I was like, "How are you going to connect Reid's room in this?" He was like, "Yeah, bro, like the things I've seen you in person. I hear the conversations you're always talking about. And then I see the type of things, the content that you put out on your YouTube channel. Like I know you're putting in hours of hard work. You're diligent with this stuff. Let's just pour it in, bro. I don't remember everything, but all I know is that for the 45 minutes I was at their house tonight, it was just a blessing. What I got from everything was trust the process. And I drove, well, it was weird because this morning I felt so calm going to work. And then, driving to the house, I was like, okay, a little bit on the anxious side. But driving home, after being touched by that, like I just felt like the Holy Spirit was just like, boom, 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 you're going to be okay, you're going to be okay, you're going to be okay. After I got that, I was jamming in the car. I was listening to all my praise music. It was good. It was actually very nice. It was a great experience. And what I have to tell you today at the end of my story is you should trust as well. Trust the process. It may not look like things are going the way you expected, and the road to wherever God leading you does not make sense. But what I can say to you is that it's going to be okay. And the gifts, the talents, the attributes that you have displayed in your life are probably indicators for what God wants you to do. So trust him as you're walking along the way, and keep your head up. When people ask questions, they just want to know answers. They just want to know stuff so they can tell you as much information as they know. But one thing I know about God, he doesn't always give you the full picture. But in time, you'll get to step back and see the beautiful canvas. It's amazing. I told God, I was like, when I get home, that's the first thing I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get on my camera and start recording. My camera's battery was half dead, so I had to charge it up, and then we had worship at 8, and then I came back up here, it's fully charged. So I was like, I'm going to do this now. And initially, I did not feel like recording this video. I did not want to, but I was like, God, I actually want to, because I just feel like someone else should hear this. I think that someone else is going to be touched by this. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. If this is good for you, great. If it's not, you could have left a long time ago, but you're still here. So I'm gonna go. I just want you to know, it's going to be okay. God cares about you. He loves you very much. He made you special. He's not here just to leave you. No. He's got a plan. What's Jeremiah 29:11 say? "For I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord. They are plans for good and not for disaster, to give you a future and a hope." He's always there. He's paying attention and he loves you, bro. All right. Have a wonderful and happy Friday. See you next week. All right. Bye.